What is up, everybody? Hope you are doing great. My name is Devin. You're watching another episode of Crypto Beard, the channel devoted to keeping you in the know of what's happening in the crypto sphere. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the age-old question, or the question that's been circulating a lot recently. Is Bitcoin a scam? And also, is it going to zero? I'm going to tell you why Warren Buffett is wrong, and that should be an indicator to my answers. But with that said, let's get into today's video. So first off, before we can answer the question, is Bitcoin a scam, we have to look at what was the creator's intentions. Well, the intentions behind Bitcoin was to create a platform where you could digitally transact easily no matter where you were in the world. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to move money from one country to another, or maybe you have a friend living abroad or a relative and you've tried to send them something. It is a pain, and it's cumbersome, and it's easy for things to get lost because of all the hands involved and all the exchanging. There's no real simple way to transact person to person, peer to peer, until Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin solved that, and that was the purpose in its creation. The technology wasn't intended to scam individuals. Now, however, when we look at the scam argument, most people are saying that, yeah, but no, it's the asset that's really a scam. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What makes Bitcoin unique? Well, first off, it's scarcity. There's only ever going to be a maximum amount of 21 Bitcoin in the world. And, it's probably actually less than that, because we don't know for sure how many people have wallets where they've lost their keys and don't know how to access their Bitcoins. And so, that lowers the actual supply of what's going on in circulation quite a bit. But this controlled supply is huge, because throughout human history, this has been something that we've struggled with. It seems like every time the people who are in control of this currency, because all currencies up until this point have been controlled by people, what happens is that they decide at some point in time that it's necessary to have more. And so they print it out, effectively making everyone else who is holding the currency a little bit poorer, making their whatever their holdings are worth a little bit less, because the laws of supply and demand just tell us that when supply goes up, that the actual value has to decrease, right? It can't remain the same. And so, and this is why we have issues with gas, is why we have issues with inflation, right? Really basic stuff here. But that's what sets Bitcoin apart. That's why billionaires like Michael Saylor have put so much money into it, because they see it as something that can only go up, especially with inflation. Sometimes markets don't realize that, and they don't realize the value until later on. And we see this time and time again. However, it doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin upholds to certain economic fundamentals. And this is really what makes the difference, guys, is that Bitcoin upholds to basic principles that typically human-controlled currencies will eventually get away from. To quote Warren Buffett, he said that he thought Bitcoin was evil, and one of those reasons for it being evil was the fact that it stood in the way of the dollar, that he thought it threatened the dollar as a reserve currency. Now, I actually don't see Bitcoin doing that, just because the functionality of it. People don't trade in gold anymore, and typically you don't trade in super valuable assets. You're not like buying pizzas and things like that. You're typically holding assets that are going to appreciate. So I disagree with it being a reserve currency. However, what it has introduced it with blockchain, will a digital currency replace the dollar, or will a multitude of currencies replace what we currently use? It's highly likely. Now, that could be a digital dollar, and I anticipate that will happen. However, other digital options won't go away, for the simple fact that whatever federal bank controlled, centralized controlled digital currency there will be there's going to be taxation implemented in that, so there's always going to be people who are looking to get around it. This is just my opinion and my thoughts on this, guys, so take that with a grain of salt. But hey, if you enjoyed this video and you can see why Bitcoin is not going to zero, cannot go to zero, because, and here's the other thing, guys, last reason, the Bitcoin computer network is the largest network in the world, right? The computing power of Bitcoin is greater than any government, any company in the world, okay? So that alone is not something that should be overlooked. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. It's here for the long run. And yes, it may have been down before. It may dip down again, but I can almost guarantee you within the next few years, you're going to see Bitcoin going well above 5 figures into the $100,000, even more territory, because of the fundamentals. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you have a fantastic day. We'll catch you next time. Peace.